Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be building up and painting the 89 Batmobile from AMT. This design is still one of the most popular ones ever created, and the box art shows off quite a lot of the close-up detail, while the back of the box shows off the contents. So without further ado, let's check it out for ourselves. And by the way, this kit is in 1 in 25 scale. It comes with 7 sprues of varying sizes, plus some additional large parts, and that includes a chrome one and a transparent one. We have a 9-step instruction sheet along with the colour guide, and everything looks easy enough to follow. And here's all the components all laid out. The first step, as always, is to remove the required parts with a clipper, and then it's just a matter of cleaning up the edges before assembly. And we're going to start work on the cockpit, and this is going to require a little bit of painting and dry brushing. And since the Batmobile is already moulded in black, I'm going to try and get away without painting that. Everything inside the cockpit is going to be very hard to see, so I don't need to be super detailed. I can now slot the steering wheel into the dashboard and glue the gear sticks into place. And yes, that took several attempts to get right. So here's the completed cockpit, including the chairs. And so I can now get to work on the exterior. Starting off with the nose cone, followed by the fins. And I need to hold everything in place just long enough for the glue to take hold. Next, I need to take a couple of parts off the chrome tree, and these connect to a couple of side panels, which I'm guessing are some sort of air intake. So now I need to flip the Batmobile onto its side and glue these guys into place. I've kept all the chrome pieces pretty clean for now, but I might change my mind on that later on and give it a black wash. Now flip the Batmobile onto its roof and add a few more parts. And the most important of these is the cockpit. I just need to move it back and forth a little bit until it aligns with the pegs, and then leave it for the glue to set. I'm moving on to the base part now. I need to glue these pegs into place before I can attach the front wheels, and those basically have a front part and a back part, and the tyre goes in the middle. The chrome trim do need glued into place, otherwise they will fall off. And even though the wheels can turn, it doesn't really add any benefit to the model, so there's no harm in gluing it together. And the rear wheels are attached via a metal rod. Other than that, these wheels are assembled in a similar fashion to the front ones, with both the front and the rear part and the tyre going in the middle. You may need to drill out the rear of the wheel so that the rod will fit easier. Even though it's not explained in the instructions, this cradle is so that you can slide the engine in and out. I've had to use these clamps to glue the window and the frame together, because unfortunately the window is a couple of millimeters too short, so I've had to try and force it to fit. I'm assembling the engine part here. It comes with a few extra parts which can be glued onto it. This is so that Batman can repair it in his spare time, but it also means you won't be able to slide it in and out of place, so you have to make a choice of how this kit is going to be displayed. Then it's just a matter of pushing the top and bottom halves together. There's not a lot of surface area to glue these two pieces together, and I'm convinced that any efforts to do so will leave a lot of glue drip marks. There's a few more bits to add to the back, and that includes the jet thruster and the brake lights. The brake lights do snap into place, but it does take a little bit of effort, and it's just a matter of trying not to break any other part of the kit while you do so. And next, the engine can be slid into place. Then there's a few little panels to add, and that's this model completed. There are options with this kit to add the machine guns, grappling hook and a pair of computer panels. These can't exactly be plugged in and out, so you do have to make a choice whether you want it displayed with or without these options. And for me, I just want the basic car in the normal drive mode. And now it's time to turn our attention to Batman. And I start off by covering him in grey primer. The only exposed part of his flesh is his chin, so I painted that in a pale flesh colour followed by a flesh wash. Next was to cover the entire model with a charcoal black. This is slightly lighter than regular black and therefore better for scene definition. And once that's dried, I dry brush on some grey, and this does a great job of bringing out all the highlights. The last thing we want is a solid black blob. For the eyes, I simply painted them white. This was easier than trying to paint on the pupils. And then I painted yellow over the chest emblem. I find it much easier just to slap it on, then wipe off the excess with a cotton bud. And now we can see the black back logo. And then the utility belt is painted in gold. I decided to paint the base in a flat grey, as this will match the colourless streets of Gotham, and a black trim around the edge signals the end of the painting phase. So all I need to do now is to cover the whole thing with a matte sealer, as this will help to protect the paint. So now we can check out the turntable shots. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I decided to go for the basic Batmobile look, but it also does come with the option of having the grappling hook, the machine guns, removing the engine, and removing the cockpit canopy. So at least the option is there to replicate specific moments from the film. So for my final thoughts on this kit is it could be better. It would be nice for some of these parts to have tabs on them so they can only be attached in certain ways, and this will help to eliminate some of the guesswork. And the same goes for the actual instructions themselves. It would have been nice if they had included more details, especially when it came to some of the optional extras. Take for example the removable engine, as this is only hinted at on the side of the box and is not covered at all by the instructions. But despite a few gripes, the actual look of the kit is pretty good and appears to be fairly accurate to the movie. And once again, I've taken the fairly quick route with building this kit. If I'd have taken my time, I could have filled in all the gaps, sprayed it black and made it more presentable. But that's the great thing about these kits, we can choose exactly how much time and effort we can put into them, and there's no right or wrong way about going about it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.